everybody. It's Chrissy from Knittin in the Heights. It's hot outside. Oh my gosh. It's like we're back in summer. It's like in the high 70s. Yeah, I don't want it to be this hot. I don't like the hot. Yeah. I need to take a moment to just recenter. So I got my passport in the mail. So more of the bureaucracy stuff is kind of coming to, at least I'm doing everything I can do on my end until the next thing happens. So hopefully I'll have an identity soon. So today I've done a little bit of knitting. I'll show you. Been working on socks. I've been feeling kind of run down. I spoke to Josh today. We were supposed to get together in Brooklyn, and he got a terrible virus of something. And he had a fever and was afraid it was COVID. He tested negative. And he didn't lose his sense of taste or smell. So it's some other virus, and the fever just broke. So we will not be getting together today like we thought, which is totally fine because I just need some downtime because I'm feeling, I'm an empath. And so I'm not just empathic. I'm I actually feel other people's energies. And you can imagine with all the people in New York City, that can be a lot and it can drain you. And sorry, my eyes are there's sweat coming out into my eyeballs, which doesn't feel good. So because of that, I have to make sure I have and I'm an introvert too. So I have to make sure that I have time to recharge and kind of recenter myself. I've had a ton of really, really early mornings for weeks now. And I've been feeling, yesterday night I started to feel like my throat was sore. So as a precaution today, I'm going to try to take it easy and just relax, knit, watch podcasts, watch ghost shows, that type of thing. So I do plan on showing you guys my oracle cards today as kind of my homage to the season. I will take them out in just a minute, and I will take you through several of my oracle collections, but I will do an oracle reading of my favorite one, the one that I typically use. So just so you understand, tarot cards have these archetypal figures that are kind of underlying Western culture in a way. I explained them a little bit before. And so I use those more for understanding the backgrounds behind questions, it's more actual actions and motives and things like that. I use my pendulum to get quick insight into what my higher self and or subconscious believes in is actually happening. So those are yes no questions typically, unless of course there's a piece of pizza under a toddler's crib. But then what I use oracle cards for is they're more about the qualities you need to embody to face whatever you're asking about. So, for instance, if, or some part of yourself that will be learning or growing from whatever situation it is. So let me go ahead and grab a couple of those oracle sets. I will show those cards to you, and I will talk you through a reading, specifically around the idea of change again. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I had put them in a safe place, and so it took me a minute to figure out where some of them were. So these are some of my favorites. They're not my only, but these are the ones, if I do go to them, these are the ones I use, and they all are a little different. Just to use, that's a bunch of knitting. That's just folded up. The shawl, hard to see, but the shawl that Josh knit is right there. I need to actually wrap it up and start getting a gift ready. So that's why that's sitting there. I just finished blocking. It took a week to dry because it's super bulky, and it didn't dry very fast. So anyhow, I'm gonna put you down So again, terrible angle, but the best way for me to show it without getting out my huge tripod. So each of these Oracle decks are different and they have different purposes. You can use them, Oracle decks, together, individually. So the first one I'm going to show you is called The Universe Has Your Back. And this one's really interesting because it's very much more of a self-help messages. So I'm going to shuffle these. I'm going to go ahead and pull one card from all of the decks except for the one that is my favorite deck. And then I'm going to ask certain questions so you guys get an idea. All right. So first of all, this is the back, which is really pretty. And then all the cards have different, like, you know, self-helpy kind of messages. And these are big cards, and you can see that it's really hard for me to shuffle. Again, I do just a normal shuffle because apparently that's, because with my small hands, that's the best way I can do it without dropping all the cards at once. I know it's not ideal. So I'm just going to ask, what do I need to know? What do I need to know right now? What message do I need to know right now? And I'm going to ask that for all of them but the last deck, and I'll explain why. Or actually, there might be a couple of different things. I don't know. We'll see. But what do I need to know right now is actually a really good one to start with. So here's that card. I'm putting it there. I'm not going to look at any of them until the end. The next one is the Knitter's Oracle. I saw that and just had to have it. So we're going to go with this one. This is really cool. By the way, Oracle decks are very different from tarot decks. Tarot decks have a standard kind of interpretation across all tarot decks. Typically, you read them all in a similar way. Okay, so if you get a Three of Wands in one deck, it's not dissimilar from another deck. I mean, there might be a slight different interpretation, but basically the meaning's the same. But with with Oracle decks, they're all different, and they all have different meanings, and they all have like whatever the artist decided to put into their deck is what they decided to go with. I actually designed a deck. I never got printed, but I'm interested in doing it at some point. Unfortunately, I think I lost all the files when my computer died during COVID, and I had like all the files, but it was an Oracle deck based around music and meaning and like specifically classical music. And it had certain keys that were attached to certain emotions and like recommended listening if you pulled that card. So I thought, and specific colors that corresponded with music, with color theory and music theory. It was actually really interesting, but I never pursued it. It's one of those things down the line that, you know, in my spare time, maybe in my retirement, I will look into doing that, or, you know, when I have more time. All right, so I'm going to ask this deck. I feel like this is the card I need to pull. I don't know what it says. I'm putting it down. All right, so I'm going to put that together because I need to be able to look at their meanings for the most part. Okay, the next one is this one. I showed this one last October. I went to a medieval festival and I pulled a card just for fun. This is the Enchanted Spell Oracle. It's the Medieval Hedge Witch Magic deck. I just really love the Middle Ages in particular, and like illuminated manuscripts. Sorry, my eye's itching because I'm sure there is dust all over these. Here's kind of what the cards look like. So they're reminiscent of medieval artwork that you would find in illuminated manuscripts. So what do I need to know? So yeah, so I like this deck as well. I love the artwork. It's fun. Yeah, what do I need to know about what's coming up with the changes in my life that are hitting me, that I'm going through? Okay, so let me go ahead and pull. I typically cut my cards and then pull. Like I feel where to cut, and then I pull the top one. I put that there. Then I have this one, the Spirit Animal Oracle. Let's go ahead. And this one is humongous. And the artwork is gorgeous. Gorgeous. One of my favorite ones. This one also has different meanings depending on whether it's upside down or right side up. And we're not going to mess with that. We're just going to try to shuffle this massive deck of cards. Again, it is very hard for me to shuffle these. So what do I need to know? And I go through periods of time where I do more or less readings for myself, depending on where I'm at in life. I will say it's like, for my anxiety, when my anxiety gets off the chain, I really go to doing readings for myself. Or now that Josh is in my life, Josh also does readings, but only for himself and me. Yeah, I mean, it's not a career, but he and his partner have a huge collection of tarot and oracle cards. And for the longest time, Josh only read oracle cards and a couple of very specific decks. But recently he started doing some tarot work, and I've been his guinea pig, so to speak, very willingly, by the way, because he's very good at it. And we work together really to do, doesn't want to shuffle, to do my readings, because I'm more versed in the tarot lore, basically, the tarot understanding. Okay, right there, that feels right. So that one's going down. All right, and then my final deck I'm going to show you is called the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle. This is my absolute favorite. I feel drawn to pull 3 cards from this. And the question I'm going to ask specifically with this is, in this time of transition in my life, what qualities will I need to call upon or focus on to help me get through that transition? Seems like a very reasonable question to ask. And this is my most well-worn. I often do readings with this one. This is the number 1 go-to oracle deck for me. First of all, because I absolutely love the artwork. It truly is a field guide. The book actually tells you recipes and how to spot these plants in nature. Gives you correspondences as far as like what the emotional correspondence or hedge witch correspondence would be. So we're pulling 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the very first one. Now, as far as the first deck, which was The Universe Has Your Back, it is what it is. I don't think there's no guidebook with this, because it's just, it's what it says it is. So it says, in every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me towards right-minded thinking and the energy of love. Beautiful. So that's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, because the change I'm going through has had my brain in a certain place, which is, yeah, not good. And I would really like to focus more on positive stuff in my life and be in a more positive, situation. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So for the Knitter's Oracle, I got the Whip, meaning the work in progress. God, I love these cards. These ones are fun, but I literally didn't get them too long ago. So I'm just learning them. All right. So what does the Whip have to say? Okay. Oh, wow. It's super tiny. So this is number 5. Growth, evolution, solid foundation, health, the roots or basis of a thing. So it's basically saying that I need to know that I'm in a stage, even though it's changed, it's actually a stage of growth and evolution, and that I have a solid foundation for whatever is coming up next. That's cool. All right, let's take a look at the medieval hedge witch. Happiness. I'm liking this reading so far, y'all. So let's take a look at happiness. Does this have a number on it? No. It should be in alphabetical order. It's the orange blossom, okay, is the what it's talking about. Orange blossom's happy, sweet citrus scent is regenerating and optimistic. On a metaphysical level, it can dissipate heaviness and unhealthy obsessions and help to create a heart full of light. Very similar to this card. Okay. It's talking about eating oranges. Okay, so the symbolism of the card. The priestess of happiness is dancing in a gorgeous orange frock and stripy blue stockings. Her energy is one of whimsy and playfulness. Gold surrounds her as well as orange blossoms bursting with their delicious citrus perfume. The artwork in this card depicts an ancient key of Solomon, the magical figure of happiness, a symbol said to bring joy and good cheer. For divination, this card is suggesting that happiness lies in dwelling on the good things in life, not on your problems. This doesn't mean ignoring your difficulties, but rather seeing the positives in your situation instead. The old adage is true. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to it. All right, the next one. Chameleon Spirit. This is the Spirit Animal Oracle, and it's upright, and it says, act as if. All right. The Oracle message. Chameleon Spirit shares her gifts with you today to prepare you for changes that will greatly benefit you. Outer conditions are changing, and you're required to come into harmony with them so you can co-create your greatest dream. Okay, even if you feel like you're in uncharted territory, Chameleon Spirit has complete faith in your ability to fit in and learn the lay of the land, adapting as necessary. This is a fortunate time to act as if and do as others do until the new ways feel familiar and completely natural. Life is offering you a great lesson now. Adapting isn't about losing yourself. It's about learning how to dance with others. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So this is very much right on the money. Okay, now let's take a look at my favorite deck, the Hedwig Botanical Oracle. Okay, the first one we get is Purify, which is Sage. Now, I'm just going to read a little bit because these are long entries, but I'll give you... And I will say there's only a slight problem with this book is there's like 1 or 2 entries that are not in alphabetical order, and you just have to know those. Like, you just have to figure out where they are in the book because they use the second word instead of the first word. Okay. Purify is the oracle property of this card, as sage has been used since ancient times for warding off evil, cleansing spaces, and banishing negative energy. Okay, so this is all about basically the clearing, purifying energy of sage is a powerful tool for anyone trying to focus or start anew because there's change. I skipped a bunch of stuff. The next one is adaptation, blackberry. Okay, let's find it. The oracle property related to this group of plants is adapt or adaptation. Any gardener, forager, or hiker who has had to contend with the thorny arcs of this bramble can attest to the fact that no matter the terrain, this tenacious plant finds a way to flourish. Though often being thought of as a pest or invasive plant, the blackberry also provides shelter to many animals and food for butterflies, bees, moths, and all sorts of larger creatures, including humans. The blackberry's ability to adapt and flourish in new or even hostile terrain is certainly something we can learn from. Part of its success can be attributed to its thorny canes. The blackberry bramble is nearly impenetrable and never easy to eradicate. If you find yourself in a situation that seems to require that you adapt, even radically, keep in mind that it is sometimes good to have your defenses up while you're in flux. So yeah, so basically, I just need to keep my defenses up and basically keep some things private right now as we're making this change to allow the change to happen so I can adapt and grow into the new thing that's coming. All right, and the final one, fern, which is growth. All right. Okay, these are long. I'm trying to find where the actual, because they talk about like cooking fiddlehead ferns. Okay. Ferns find a way to grow no matter what conditions they face, inspiring the oracle property growth. It's not always easy. Sometimes we would like to remain with what is safe and known, but stagnation does not lead to happiness and success. How can you push yourself? What opportunities do you have to seek personal growth? What adversity are you facing that could lead to new paths and ways of thinking? This oracle property is much like the death card in the tarot deck. Though it gives people a fright, its message is very much about the kind of change that leads to growth. Yup. Yup. So all of this, let's just say there is major change going on, and it picked up on it. And it told me to just continue to stay positive, make sure that I see this as a growing situation, that I'm in the middle of the change, and just to go with the flow on it and just stay as happy as possible, seeing all the positives. So that is how you can use Oracle decks to help you. Again, I see this as 100% self-help techniques. I do use them as a way to ground myself. I use all of the cards and the pendulums and everything as a method for me to self-examine. Just like many people journal, I use this as a method of, or meditate. I do meditate too sometimes, but I have children. They're loud, and meditation's hard to find time for sometimes. But the idea is that it puts me in a safe space to examine what's going on in my life without being challenging. 14 West 10th Street, located between 5th and 6th Avenues in Greenwich Village, is named the House of Death. This house is one of the most haunted houses in Greenwich Village and has had several people live in it that are quite famous. One of its famous residents was Mark Twain. Mark Twain lived at the address from 1900 to 1901 during a time of great difficulty, and many of the people that lived in this house seemed to have runs of bad luck. One of the things that Mark Twain encountered while he was in this house was there was a piece of kindling wood moving by itself near a fireplace. He thought it might be a rat, and he grabbed a pistol and shot at it. The kindling, which levitated, fell to the floor, and Twain saw a few drops of blood, but he didn't see any signs of a rat. In the 1930s, this house was also inhabited by a mother and daughter. The mother came into the living room one evening, and she saw a man sitting in one of the chairs in the window, and she says, "Who are you, and what are you doing here?" He said, "My name is Clemens, and I got problems here I gotta settle." It is believed that that man was Mark Twain, as Clemens was his original name. Another famous person that lived in this building was Jan Bryant Bartle. She was an actress and writer who discovered while she was living next door to this building that she was a psychic. During that time, she discovered that she could see things and feel things. She heard a number of noises and saw visions while living next door. The saddest story associated with this house, though, is the death of a child. In 1989, prominent lawyer Joel Steinberg beat his adopted daughter Lisa to death. This is what gives the house its name, the House of Death. Thankfully, little Lisa does not haunt this establishment, and it is my sincere hope that this child has found peace in the afterlife.